Hi, folks. Al Harris here, Technical Framework, techframework.com. With the upcoming obsolescence of Windows 10 in October, at least that's the Microsoft announcement, we've been getting a lot of calls about PC replacement, the enormous cost of computers nowadays, and how our clients can save money. So I've got a couple of tidbits for you on that. I'm going to draw your attention to my demo screen. Let's go over here to a computer that we've bought several of and deployed to customers and other use cases. And that is the B-Link SER5. Looking at the specs, you'll see it has an AMD Ryzen 7 6800, which is about like a Core i7 1260p if you're familiar with the Intel tiers of processors. It's got 32 gig of RAM, DDR5, which is the latest and fastest. It's got 1 terabyte solid state drive. It's a mini form factor, and actually, I have one to show you here, so you can see it up close. And it fits in what is the size of palm. So it's not a very large computer. You can also mount it on the back of a monitor. It supports triple display. So 3 monitors. It comes with Wi-Fi, Bluetooth 5.2, and it's best for office, school, and gaming, which is a lot of use cases. It's probably not going to be a good computer for high-end graphics, CAD, and software development. So let's take a look. I'm going to show you the model I have here. There's a lot of screens to flip through and there's a lot to cover, so I'm going to go kind of fast. This is an SCR5 with, you might, if you can zoom in, 32 gig of RAM and 1 terabyte hard drive. Let's unbox it so you can see it up close. Again, we've deployed several of these with good reliability. And when you think of the price of a new computer, Dell, Lenovo, HP, this $338 price point that is displayed here and this very fast delivery makes it attractive. So let's go back to the unveiling of what this actually looks like up close. Comes in a nice little vanity box, and here it is. And one of the funnest things about new computers is unwrapping them. So I'm going to take this one apart. It's like Christmas, if you will. So here's what it looks like. And you can see that there are 2 USB-A ports, a USB-C port. That's the power button. It has Ethernet, built-in Wi-Fi, DisplayPort, HDMI. Again, another 2 USB ports, and of course, the power adapter. You can take these apart, but there's no reason to because virtually everything is soldered into the board. You can replace the hard drive if you want, but if you get a 1 terabyte hard drive, there's not going to be a need to do that. That's quite a bit of space. But if you wanted to go to 2 terabytes, you could. Now, you might be thinking, well, this video is maybe sponsored by B-Link or somebody like that, but that's not the case. This is just a little helpful hint that we've been giving to customers. And if they want us to purchase these and set it up for them, of course we do. But with computers costing $1,000, $2,000, $2,500 right now, this is a rather good deal. Now, you may be thinking, well, HP, Lenovo, and Dell come with a warranty that starts at 1 year, and I can extend that. And that's a very good point. But when you think about the fact that you can buy 2, 3, 4, sometimes 6 of these $330 computers for the price of a new Dell, HP, or Lenovo, you can self-warranty. If you're a company that buys, for example, a fleet of computers at a time, 10, 12, 20, 50, then you can just have 2 or 3 on hand in case one goes bad. I have had just a couple of problems with these computers out of the dozens that we've purchased. One was dead out of the box, so I had to send it back. And another one suffered a failed Ethernet port, which I fixed very easily with this nice little USB to Ethernet adapter. But overall, very good results. And our staff use them as well for their computing needs. Not all the time, but in the right use cases, they come in very handy. Now, for the second part of the talk, I want to show you how you can use these specifications if you're non-technical to shop using AI, because a lot of times you just don't know how to compare these specifications. Because let's face it, an AMD Ryzen 7 6800U, LPDDR5 RAM, and M.2 PCIe 4.0 SSD. This is a lot of tech jargon, and it sounds like engineering talk. So we're going to use AI in this next demonstration to help us shop these specifications and see if we are in fact getting a good deal. So let me pop open one of my favorite AI tools, which is Manus. Again, with these AI tools, you do not want to post sensitive information, private information, PII, PHI, and so forth. So you be very careful. But this is just computer shopping, so we're okay. I have written a prompt that's going to help me shop the specifications of this. I'm going to be careful that I'm showing you what I'm referencing. I'm going to write a prompt here in Manus that allows me to compare the specifications of this Amazon B-Link SER5 computer to HP, Lenovo, and Dell, which are the top selling brands. And I've written a prompt, as you can see here, and I'm going to read the prompt out loud because a lot of folks are contacting us telling us that they're listening to this in the car or they're looking at this on a mobile and they can't quite see everything. So the prompt reads like this: find a brand new micro or mini form factor desktop PC from Dell, HP, and Lenovo only. No refurbished, no third party sellers, no eBay. The required specs are Intel Core i7 1260p or closest equivalent or better, 32 gigabytes of RAM, must be DDR5 or LPDDR5, micro or mini form factor, 1 terabyte SSD. If exact specs aren't available, show the closest possible configuration for each brand and clearly indicate whether each component is higher or lower than the requested spec. Only use manufacturer websites, HP.com, Dell.com, and Lenovo.com. For each model, provide the product name, specify CPU name, RAM type, DDR or LPDDR5, and SSD size. Indicate whether the CPU, RAM, and SSD are equal or higher or lower than the requested spec. Include a direct product link to the manufacturer's US site. Do not include images. Exclude refurbished listings, eBay or third-party marketplaces. Only include listings available in the US. I know that's a lot of talk, but if you don't give your AI large language model, such as ChatGPT, Manus, Google Gemini, if you don't give it specific instructions, then it's going to stray off the mark and give you a lot of information you didn't expect and you don't need. All right. It is possible to just paste these specifications into a prompt window and ask the LLM to give you comparable computers and prices. There's nothing wrong with doing that. And that's the whole point here. But I've taken a little bit more liberty and enumerated a few things just based on my experience. And I'm going to issue this prompt. And I want to show you how Manus, there's a lot to this Manus AI window. It's going to start thinking and it's going to use its own computer in the cloud. That's what this right pane is, to do the research. So it acts as an agent. It acts as basically your assistant or intern and goes through the internet, performs the searches, collects the data, puts it in a report, and in my opinion, does a really fantastic job when you compare it to ChatGPT or Google Gemini in this particular arena of research. It's very thorough. And you can see here on the right that it's basically doing work on a computer as you would expect an assistant to do. It is rather copious about which tasks it's going to do next and how it's going to go about them. And it does take some time. When you're working with Manus, you have to be patient. You want to give it the prompt that you expect it to execute, and then go get some coffee, come back in 20 or 25 minutes and have your results. Now, I'm not going to delay this video by 20 or 25 minutes. I have already issued this command, and I want to show you what the results are. So let's take this Manus window over here. And when I issued this prompt, the one I read off to you the first time, I did wait the 20 to 25 minutes. And what I got is, I'm going to just scroll really fast just to give you an idea of how much work it did. Here's my prompt up here. It went through all the steps that you see here. And then near the end, to find the exact location, it gave me a final report. Okay. So this is what the final report looks like on the right. It gave me it rephrased my search requirements, provided an executive summary, very formal, and then the detailed model comparison. And I can click these links and get the comparable models. Like this one's $1,000, quite a bit more than the 300, but you can see it's rather uncanny how close it got on the specifications. And the list goes on here. I'm not going to bog us down by clicking every single link, but you can see that the report that it creates is quite detailed. And I can take this report and, after, of course, careful review, send it off to a client or file it away for use in the near future. But even more amazing is the next part. And Manus offers to make a website out of the information. And in this case, when it prompted me, I said yes, and this was the prompt. Of course, after you say yes, the yes button goes away, and then it says, I'll create a professional website showcasing the desktop PC comparison. And then I waited a little while longer for it to create the website, and then it gives me a link to the website. And I visit that website. This is a website created by Manus, the AI model, and it, in a tabular way, in a web design sort of way, showcases the various PCs. It's good to have a human in the loop to verify what's going on. I mean, if you're familiar with PC specs like 32 gigabytes of RAM and 1 terabyte hard drive, a lot of us are, you can verify these settings. But what Manus AI will do is it'll give you quite a jump start. If you remember the days of having to do Google searches and clicking the links and then clipping the pages and placing them in a note editor and then having to compile all this information on your own, it's pretty amazing that a tool like Manus can go and do this while you're grabbing coffee or talking to somebody else at the water cooler, and then to just come back to the report. That's all I have for you today. So, two big things. Look up the B-Link SCR5 to see if it meets your needs. Remember that, if you're looking at $1,500, $1,700, $2,000 for a new computer and you just need it for office work, like real estate, law, administration, routine business, you don't really need to spend that kind of money. You can save a lot of money by buying a $330 computer. And if you're really worried about it breaking because it's just a little bit less hardy, then you can just buy two of them. But that's a lot better than spending $1,000, $1,500, $2,000. And then you can use Manus AI to verify the computers that you find out there, put their specifications in Manus, ask it to find comparables, and it'll create a report for you. Hope this was helpful. Once again, if you need guidance on computers, go to techframework.com and contact us from the contact page, or email us at info@techframework.com. Thanks for joining in. Have a great day ahead.